This was probably the first time George had ever arrived at his wit's end. Time travel was his life's calling. You know how people say time travel is impossible because if it was possible, we'd see visitors here from the future all the time. Well, Georgie always maintained that's the equivalent of a Tibetan mountain man going, obviously air travel is impossible because there's no airplanes landing here beside me. The reason there's no airplanes landing there in Tibet was because they haven't built a runway. It came to Georgie in a dream where he was going back in time and he saw his former self as a youngster, and he knew that it was a paradox for him to come face to face with his former self like that. So he set off this atmospheric disturbance with his micromatic wave device. It was set into the ground and created something like an earthquake, and it distracted the boy so that he never made eye contact with his future ego, and the paradox disaster was averted. And that's how Georgie figured out that what time travelers needed was an atmospheric disturbance station to dock at, so they could avoid the paradoxes and cancel out a time travel episode. Georgie doesn't like it when I call him an inventor, because he says he doesn't tinker over gadgets. He constructs apparatus for serious investigations. He finds things in books and at used motor shops and auto salvage, and he puts them together for whatever he's trying to accomplish. The frequency transmitter device he made causes everyone nearby to experience brain vertigo, where they get real dizzy and a lot of them fall to the ground. It feels exactly like you're in an earthquake, except you're not, but it distracts you just the same. Georgie spent a summer driving the continental U.S., setting up these transmitter stations in places likely to be visited by people from the future, such as Memphis, Los Alamos, and Detroit. Georgie didn't pick sites that were popular for people of today, like the Empire State Building or the Space Needle. He assumed people of the future with their advanced rockets and robots and teleporters must live in incredibly tall buildings stretching right into the clouds, and they shell out serious dough for a sightseeing vacation amongst the itty-bitty houses of a backwoods Connecticut country town. The same way we go to Ireland to keep how close the door lintels are to the ground. They'd go to the largest dairy farm in the world. 25,000 cows shuffling their feet in Arizona because Futurians don't use cows to make milk. They've probably never seen a cow. Or imagine an Iowa cornfield or the slums of Detroit. Yeah, they're probably familiar with slums in the future, but they want to compare theirs with ours. Just like someone would go back to the slums of Charles Dickens to see with their own eyes how wretched all of it really was.